Very happy to be here today to introduce to you fellow friend and co-worker on his second part of his presentation. I'd like to introduce Mr. James Allen Bates Jr., who is half Navajo and half Arapaho, and he is here to finish his presentation on the Transition Coalition. Let's give Mr. Bates a round of applause.
Ho, Mr. Primo. Many ho, Mr. Primo. Thank you for that. Thank you all for being here today to listen to the conclusion of the Transition Coalition. And today we'll find out where we're going with this. The Transition Coalition was a program developed with the intervention prevention in mind of the youth, because of the unique situation conditions that they have in their lives that result in job stop-outs, poor transitions, poor grades, poor academics, weak self-esteem, and minimum home support for education, and for appropriate preparation for progress, success during and after transition. First of all, what I would like what I would strongly suggest the Transition Coalition after it's formed is to develop or create, if it's not created or develop a Student Native American Club in the Shawnee Public Schools. I'm pretty sure Shawnee has one, because we want to create that first while we're establishing a board, a mentoring board in Transition Coalition, because those are things that's going to lead us in our objective, and that's to graduate our students from high school and start thinking about transition to life after high school. But with the first developing the Student Native American Club, we began to teach our students, our young students, leadership skills and help develop their communication skills, their speaking skills, and they'll start networking, and which also makes them have ownership. Once they develop the Student Native American Club, then they can start forming their own groups, such as drum groups, dance troops, chess clubs, academic teams, and they can have arts and crafts exhibitions, they can have fundraisers. They can take ownership of this and start developing their networking skills and leadership and speaking skills, public speaking skills, so that when they do choose to decide to go to college, they'll be able to put that on their resumes. And while this is going on, we can have the Transition Coalition start forming a mentoring board with the three entities: Shawnee Indian community, the public schools, and the tribes working together in unity to form the Transition Coalition. And what we want them to do is, once we get that mentoring board established, we need to position someone, a coordinator, a director, a mediator, whatever you want to call them, to go out and do the groundwork to putting this all together. Because there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done, a lot of collaboration, months of collaboration that need to be done to get this mentoring program off the ground. But the first thing we got to keep in mind is that we want our Native American students to graduate from high school. And we want to start the mentoring program. There's 5 types of mentoring program: long-term focus activity, short-term focus activity, team mentoring, group mentoring, and traditional mentoring. Traditional mentoring is the most favorite type of mentoring. But the problem with that is having enough mentors to mentor. But once we get that started, is a one-on-one. What we do is ask the mentors, after recruiting them, screening them, and training them, we want to have them commit to one school year, weekly meetings, one school year. That's shown to be the most effective type of mentoring, traditional one-on-one mentoring, meeting once a week. And for whatever reason, there's things that happen in life, God's acts that happen that we have no control over. That, maybe a storm, tornadoes, rain, car, sickness, whatever it may be. But what you want to do is have those weekly meetings the same time, the same day, every week, once a week. So that the mentee gets used to being, he's getting kind of trained. He don't know it, but he's getting trained, and he wants to be there. So that helps with his attendance at school, and his grades start coming up. And what they do is they try to build a high quality mentoring relationship, a one-on-one relationship with their mentor, and they develop that. And the target group will be the 16 and 19-year-old group, because that's the group that's going to be going on. They're going to be graduating. We want them graduating from high school and start thinking about life after high school. And there's one mentoring story I'd like to tell you about that this worked out well. We matched a young male and an adult male, because you always want a male and male and a female and a female. You don't want to cross mix them. And we had a adult male with a youth male, and a mentor, and that young guy, the young man, he was like most kids are, 16, 17-year-olds. They're pretty hard-headed and aggressive. They got all these emotions going on in their lives, a lot of changes in their lives physically, and he was having a lot of behavior issues at school. He was getting a lot of fights, a lot of troubles, poor grades, wasn't coming to school, he was skipping out. And the mentor that we matched him, paired him with, that's very important in the process, the mentoring process of recruiting and training, is get the pair them up with the same type of backgrounds, some commonalities. And we get that started, and they got to working, they got to talking, and as it went on, his mentor told the mentee, convinced him to join wrestling, and his grades came up. And to be in athletics in a public school, you have to maintain a certain GPA, and a certain attendance is required, usually like 90% attendance, and depending on what school you're at, 2.5 or 2.3 GPA to be active and be able to participate in school activities. So that mentee got to doing that. He cut out getting it. He used to talk back to teachers all the time in class and get sent to the principal's office. And the principal got tired of dealing with this. And I think he even got a suspended for a couple of days. But anyways, he came back. The mentor worked with him, talked to him, encouraged him, developed that high quality relationship. And they went on, and he went on to become a state champion in wrestling. But that's one of the success stories that I like to speak about. But the mentor process is a mentor advisory board will determine a process to recruit, screen, and train volunteer adult mentors so they will be available, able, and willing, prepared to commit to a one-on-one mentoring relationship that meet on a regular basis for one school year or longer. Frequent and consistent meetings, generally consisting of weekly meetings over the course of a mentor relationship, are necessary for the mentor and mentee to develop trust and friendship. The mentors, what we're going to look for, that's why it's we're focusing on the mentors that we're going to look for the 5 tribes, the Kickapoos, Absentee Shawnees, Sac-Fox, Seminoles, and that's what the part that's so important to get the coordinator established, the coordinator, director, whatever you want to call the chairperson for the mentoring transition coalition, is he's got to go out and hustle around and speak with all these leaders from all these groups, these communities. That's our primary source of mentors right there. That's where we're going to recruit our mentors. Because what we want as a mentor to mentor our Native American youth, we want a Native American expert. We don't want an Indian expert. We want a Native American expert. We don't want someone that can read books and tell you about how Indians are supposed to live when they never slept in bed with 3 and 4 brothers and sisters in a 1-bedroom house, or they never got their Kamad cheese and the Kamad line. They didn't go through things like that. But that's why it's so important to get this started. The Native American mentors who will be recruiting are from the 5 tribes in the Shawnee area. They will have all been successful, graduated from high school, and represent a variety of professions, including accounting, military, coaching, the arts and crafts, language, traditional culture, and business. But there are anomalies who do not graduate but got a GED because they knew the importance of education and went on to be successful. A lot of times these are the best mentors because they lived the life, but they know how important an education is. At least, to graduate is the big thing. The mentors who volunteer for the program will have cleared a criminal background check with OSBI as required to be on Shawnee School property. Important goals of the mentoring program is to provide another positive role model in the lives of these young Indian students in the hopes that the relationships will lead to increased academic performance, more school involvement in the department, and the development of post-high school transition plan. And our target group will be the 16 and 19-year-olds, because those are the ones that we need to get graduated. The mentors' role, the mentors act as a role model and a source of friendship and encouragement. What we hope to see from this program is that mentors establish a high-quality relationship with the students. The mentor is not a school official or a family member. He or she is someone with a different perspective, someone who has achieved professional success while maintaining his or her Indian culture and Indian identity. And one last mentor program, our mentor story I like to tell about is when we first started in 2008, 2009, before the Transition Coalition, there was 24 Native American seniors, 18 graduated, 75%. Each year from thereafter, it increased proportionally, students, graduates, and percentage, until 2011, 2012, the last year of the mentoring program there. We had 56 Native American seniors, 48 graduate, the highest in the area of public schools. But as my leader told me the year before when I came back, and I was excited that we had 38 Native American seniors and 37 graduated, I was all jumping and overjoyed, and I said, we almost had 100%. She said, no, James, you got to go back 4 years to see how many was in that class. So that kind of busted my bubble a little bit, but I said, all right. So we come back, we talked to Transition Coalition, we got more programs, more activities for the youth to transition. And we came back, there was 56 Native American seniors, so we was trying to get all, of course you want to graduate 100%, but we got 48 graduated, but the rest came back and got their GED or came back and finished up, but that's not listed on here. But I went back 4 years, there was 35 students in that class 4 years ago. So instead of dividing by 56, you divide by 35, and we graduated 135%. That's what it just touched my heart. But the story excuse me. The immediate impact of the mentoring program will not be able to be measured until at least the end of the first semester. For the best measurable assessment would be at the end of the school year, which in this case, three years was the best example, but it shows every year everything increased. The ultimate success of the Shawnee Area Tribes, Shawnee Public Schools mentoring program depends on the mentors. The mentors are what is key to this whole thing. The mentors have to engage in a high quality relationship with the mentee. It's all about the relationship. They must be able to empower the mentor to dream, believe, and succeed. That is why we are recruiting expert Indians as opposed to Indian experts. Mentors must engage and empower mentee to understand it is not genetics to be alcoholic, it's not genetics to be incarcerated, it's not genetics to be on welfare. This pilot program will be analyzed and evaluated by the mentoring board, made up of school and tribal officials with input from the mentors, students, and parents. And the long-term goal is to expand the mentor program to include the entire Shawnee Public Schools. But we got to keep the symbol of the arrow that forms a triangle, because each member of this position has a strength and will contribute to the success of the program. It is a daunting task, but if we cooperate, communicate, collaborate,